Many beginner students often find it hard to understand the symbols on tabs. They frequently ask me if there's a mistake on the tabs. Usually it's because they aren't familiar with reading the symbols on the tabs. All the guitar techniques you play are basically written on tabs using those symbols. If you are having trouble understanding these symbols, watch this entire video. I'm 100% sure it will solve all your tab reading problems. It's a long lesson, so be sure to watch it until the end. I'll provide the link for the next lesson at the end of this video. I'm Rod Rodriguez, and sadly over 50% of my viewers haven't subscribed yet. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to receive all the new videos notifications. If you have no idea how to read tabs, pause this video and check out my tutorial on how to read tabs. The link is in the descriptions or right here. Now that you understand the basics of reading tabs, let's begin. The first symbol I want to talk about is the arrow we often see on tabs. This symbol indicates bending the string. There are various types of bends, and we'll begin with the faux bend. You will notice the arrow with the word faux next to or above it. Sometimes there's a number 1 right next to or above it. It's the same thing. This means you need to bend the string up a whole step, making it sound like the note played 2 frets ahead. The next one is pretty much the same, with the only difference being the half, represented by 1/2, written beside or above it. It's called the half bend, where you bend the string until you reach the note a half step up, the one on the next fret ahead. There's another bend called bend release, where you bend the string and then let it go, returning to the original point where you started. It's crucial to maintain the same pressure when you are lowering it, or else this can happen. It's shown on tabs with the same arrow, but it goes up, both up and down. Next up is the pre-bend. You notice it on tabs with a straight arrow. It can be a whole step or a half step or 1.5 step, depending on what the tabs show. If it's a whole step bend, bend it until you reach the same pitch as the note 2 frets ahead. For a half step, you just bend it, and then to reach the pitch 1 fret ahead. This type of bend involves bending the string without striking initially. First bend the string, then hit it while maintaining the bend all the way up. You might be wondering why you should bend the string to the same pitch, the note 2 frets up. You could easily only play the note without bending. It's because this kind of bend usually adds to another bend. For instance, you play a faux bend, then you play the pre-bend, like this. Next up is the pre-bend release. It's a combination of the last 2 bends we covered. You bend it as shown on tabs and then hit it and then return to the original note. Again, it's important to maintain the same pressure on the string when going back to the original note. The final type of bend is called unison bend. Play the 2 notes shown on tabs at the same time and bend the lower note up. For example, the note on the 3rd string to match the pitch of the higher note, the one on the 2nd string, essentially making the same sound. If you're still finding bends challenging, I have a complete video dedicated to this technique. Check this link here. Next up, we have vibrato. The string vibrates when you quickly bend and release the note. On tabs, you'll notice that wave symbol. Now let's talk about the hammer-on. It's a technique played with your fretting hand. You hit the first note, then use other finger on your fretting hand to tap it. Remember, you pick only the first note. On tabs, you see an arrow with an edge above it. Pull-off is the opposite of the previous technique. Place both fingers on the notes and then pick the first, and then without picking, pull the finger off to produce the sound of the second note. On tabs, you see it written with a P above it. Moving on to the trill. It's marked on tab with the letters TR above it and sometimes with the same arrow found in hammer-ons and pull-offs, along with a wave similar to the one on vibratos. A trill is when you play hammer-on and pull-off continuously. Legato slide is the next one, a very useful technique found in many songs. On the tabs, you will see the arrow above it with the letters SL and a diagonal bar between the notes. To play this type of slide, you pick the first note and then slide it with the same finger up or down. It depends on what's indicated on tabs. The second note is not picked. Next up is another way to do slides known as the shift slide. However, in this one, you pick both the first and the second notes. On the tabs, it's represented very similar to the previous one, but without that arrow. Moving on to the tapping, a technique popularized by Eddie Van Halen. This involves tapping the fret indicated with one finger from your picking hand, usually the index or middle finger, and then pulling off to the note with your fretting hand. We are not finished yet, there's much more to come. Now let's talk about harmonic. Starting with the natural harmonic. It's indicated on tabs with the word harm above it. Pick the note while lightly touching the string with any finger from your fretting hand, directly over the specific fret, right above the metal strat. Make sure to do it over the right fret. It won't work if you do it over the other one. Next up is the pinch harmonic. I've had many students ask if it's a pedal or some kind of effect creating the pinch harmonic. It's not. It's produced with your fingers. On tabs, you see the letters PH above the note. Fret the note as usual, and the harmonic is created by adding the edge of the thumb of the picking hand to the normal pick attack. I'll give you a closer look at this exact right spot to pick the string and produce this type of harmonic. So it's exactly this point here between the thumb and the pick, okay, right here. You can see that my index finger is right there. So it's exactly here, not here, here. I have a very important tip for you. Notice that when I play the pinch harmonic, I hit the string in a different angle. Everyone has a unique angle to do it, depending on how you hold the pick. You should try different angles and find your own way to do it. Muffled strings, also known as muted strings, is the next one. On tabs, you will see it represented with the letter X over the strings. A percussive sound is created by laying the fret hand across the strings without pressing them down, and then hitting them with the picking hand. This technique is quite common in blues, funk, and hard rock. Palm muting is a very important electric guitar technique used in many rock songs. On tabs, it's indicated with a PM at the beginning with dashes over the part that should be played muted. Achieve this effect by lightly touching the strings just before the bridge with this part of your hand. Playing with the whammy bar is also shown on the tabs. The tremolo or vibrato bar is when you use the whammy bar to dive or raise the pitch or even creating vibratos. It's indicated on tabs with /bar and the line going down and up when you push the bar down and pull it up, or vice versa, with the line going up and down when you pull the bar up and push down, like this. Next one is pick scrap or pick slide. Play the edge of the pick rumble down on the string, producing a scratchy sound. Whoa, that's a lot. Now you have a lot to practice, and the best approach is to reading tabs to learn your favorite songs. Use this video as a guide, and if you have any questions, rewatch it as much as you need. You will understand and memorize the symbols if you give it a try. That's how I did it, and that's how everyone does. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell and don't miss the upcoming videos. As promised, you can find the next lessons in the links on the screen. If you're interested in learning more about my private lessons or my online courses, please check my website at www.rodrodriguez.net. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.